ridiculous, whatever. Touchdown, 22-16. Lions win over the Minnesota Vikings. That's nuts.
Detroit has now won 4 of 5 games to go over 500 for the first time this season. After the game, Laura Oakman spoke with the Golden Boy.
All right, Golden Tate, 23 seconds left, no timeouts. Most people in the stadium are thinking Vikings win. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking we've been in that situation before. Every week we practice some situation that's similar to that. And with the guys we have on the field, it's never over until it says 0 on the clock. So we just stay with it. We believed in ourselves and executed perfectly at the end.
So you're saying that you have done exactly this in practice, I have a feeling. I know that's something Coach Caldwell loves to do with you guys, not let you leave until you've done every scenario. Has this one come up?
It's similar, very similar. And sometimes we don't execute it the way it's supposed to be executed. But today we trust it, man. We stayed with it. The plays are called, we ran on the best ability, and we made plays. I mean, 9 made plays. He put throwing darts, and, we won.
And I'm going to end on that smile. Golden Tate, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jimmy, I'd like to get back to that Lions game because we talked about them winning 4 out of 5. What's impressive, though, is that each one of their games has been close. They've won or lost. The games are decided by an average of 4 points all season long. Do you get a belief when you're always in close games when you get down to the end?
Kurt, no question about it. Confidence is so important in this game. Believing that you can come back. And the more times you do it, the more you're going to go out there and do it again. And by the same token, you lose those close games like Minnesota's lost the last couple of weeks, then you get to thinking, here it goes again, here it goes again. As far as Matthew Stafford, I mean, yeah, he's the greatest. And I think it starts with your quarterback for your team. When he's going to be able to do what he does right there,
Bolden at the end of the half, end of half, end of game, Matthew Stafford's been great all season long. Here he hits Roberts, sets up the touchdown, and then the overtime throw to Golden Tate. And I know they didn't work on this in practice at the end of the game, but 5 times, as you mentioned, close games, 5 times he's led them from behind to take the lead at the end of games. Matthew Stafford, end of half, end of game, and now he adds overtime to his resume.
And you're so used to the big, deep ball from Matthew Stafford, but he's done a good job. Eric Ebrod, his tight end, leading receiver for the game, he's done a good job of distributing the ball, not always looking for the home run, which is so important. And as you said, when you win these close games, it is confidence. And on the other end for the Minnesota Vikings, when you score a touchdown and you hit the upright on the extra point. Things like that play into your psyche of that, boy, maybe it's just not our time. Where early in the year, they were rolling because they were getting those type of plays.
And I'll tell you what, Jimmy talked about the one throw.
It was a howitzer.
I'm telling you, guys.
Down the middle.
Not a lot of guys can make the throws he makes.
When you take a look at this, 3 weeks ago, we are all over Minnesota about how great their defense is.
So.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But now they've lost 3 in a row. They've lost their offensive coordinator. They can't protect the quarterback. Is it over? Or give them hope?
What, Kurt, I'll tell you what, you got to give them hope. Anytime you got they still have a really good defense.
Right.
I mean, they 22 points in overtime, regulation 16 points. When we were playing every week, the coach came in and said 17 points is your cutoff, 17 points or less. That defense is holding up to their end of the bargain most of the time. Offensively, they need to pick it up.
They're still, look, they're 5-3. And they still, look, let's say they don't win their division. If you go around the NFC, they're right there for a wild card, if nothing else. But they're still right there on top of that division. I wouldn't give up on them. What they've got to do is adjust now, as Jimmy was saying on our pregame show, to this new scheme, what Shermer wants to do. Shermer was with Sam in Philadelphia. He knows him well.
And in St. Louis.
And so they know one another well. So that's going to be a real fluid transition, but I would not give up on
And you see what they tried to
do
today. They tried, a lot of smoke screens to Diggs. They moved Diggs around. A lot of end around reverses with Diggs. They had the tight end running out of the backfield. They're trying to do some things to just kind of manufacture offense.
But they almost had the touchdown to Cordarrelle Patterson in the end zone that was dropped.
They'll get some of those offensive linemen back healthy, too, and that will help.
But they can't. They haven't shown the ability at all in any of the 8 games they've played to run the football at all.
Yeah, that's
going to hurt them. That's what's going to hurt
You say
them.
that you don't have to panic in Minnesota yet.
Defense, I don't know if there's a bigger stop than after the interception. They don't just come away with 3, they come away with nothing. Okay? Play big all day. offense answered the bell when they had to, right? Moved that ball down the field, got in position to score, and then GT caps it off, man. That's a nice job.
All right, let's get your final thoughts, starting with you, Jimmy.
Yeah, you look at the NFC North. You know, before the season, everybody said Green Bay Packers. Then Minnesota's playing just so great, defensively, one thing or another. And now you look at Detroit. I mean, this is going to be an interesting race the rest of the way. And I think Detroit may be the most fun team in the league to watch the way they come back.
Well, I think for me as the NFC East and watching the Dallas Cowboys, and you put it best, Jimmy, when you said they're 7-1. I think they're going to run it. I don't know who can stop them. And it's going to be fun to see if it could be the Giants, if it could be the Eagles, if it could be the Redskins, if anybody can stop the Dallas Cowboys, who right now look like the most consistent team running the ball, passing the ball, and on defense in the NFL.
I think Philly's going to look back at this game. They're going to be sick to death. Not going for the 2 field goals, having the 1 field goal blocked, a lot of 4th down calls, putting a lot on the quarterback's plate. And Detroit got better production out of the run game. Yeah. They got some people back on defense. As you mentioned, Kurt, they've lost 3 games by 4 points late, blown leads late. This team is a very good football team with a red-hot quarterback.
Yeah. I agree with all the things you fellas said.
Okay. All right. That's your final thought. Well, there you go. At least you're a team player throughout here. I'll tell you one thing. Go back to that Dallas-Cleveland game, 2 sides. One, Cleveland has now lost 12 games in a row going back to last year. That's the most in the history of that storied franchise. 12 straight games. Unbelievable. But look at Dallas. 7-1, as you guys said, maybe the best team in the NFC. That defense not getting enough credit. They're the only defense in the entire league that hasn't given up either a 100-yard rusher or receiver all season long. Wow. They have just put the hammer on
Wish
people.
You could be in a Rob Marinelli meeting.
Yeah.
Well, there'll be plenty of them this week as he tries to get that defense ready to take on Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dallas and Pittsburgh next week right here on Fox. We will see you then. Catch you with the pregame show, which starts, as always, at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, right here on Fox. Enjoy your weekend in the meantime. It's Chevy's most dependable plays of the day. Week 9.
Take a look at today's winners, served fresh by Subway restaurants. Who's your big winner there, Rob?
I will go to Indianapolis Colts. Last week you talked about they were your biggest disappointment. Andrew Luck playing like he's a rookie again. Just a gunslinger mentality, slinging the ball around.
Yeah, and for me it was the Detroit Lions. They're down with 23 seconds left, no timeouts. Score to go into overtime and get a big road win.
Matthew Stafford doing it again. Today's winner is served fresh by Subway restaurants. All right, 4 down territory. Who are the favorites in the AFC and NFC North?
I will start with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I still think, despite how disappointing their offense played, I think they have the best quarterback, running back, and wide receiver in the division. I think they get back on track. And their formula, coach, for winning football games is outscoring everyone. You can't depend on the defense.
Well, I'm going to say Baltimore because of that. I think Baltimore has the best defense in that division.
What about NFC North?
I would go with Detroit. You're so used to saying that it's always Aaron Rodgers and because he's the best quarterback, but Matthew Stafford, he's the best quarterback in that division.
Yeah, and I'm going to say Minnesota because I think they have the best defense. I'm a defense.